Hello everyone, it's INVIS here. Today I'm showing you a fire build which I've been playing since the beginning of second patch of iOS. A few days ago I streamed some T6 gameplay by using some bug items and bug mechanic. One of the items which I used was this two-handed mace that gives me a chance on hit to deal 8% of enemies' current health as fire damage. The proc coefficient on this weapon combined with the skills like Fist of Fury or Exploding Palm will then gives me very high chance to proc. That is how I was able to do Torment 6. Another items which I used was this helm that gives me resource cost reduction when I'm not taking damage, but this one is also bugged. When you are taking damage, the resource cost is also reduced by 30%. Some people ask me, what build would you use if you are not going to use any of these bug items or mechanic? So I will be showing you what I will be using. This is a fire build, and my paper DPS at the moment is 776k, not very high. I am going to be showing this on Torment 2. I usually play this on Torment 3, but since I'm making this video at the same time, I'm just going to take it easy and do it on Torment 2. Before I go through the gear and the skill setup, I just want to quickly show you the gameplay, and then I'll go through skills and the gears, and also I'll show you some variations. So here is Torment 2. Let's cast my mantra and let's find some monsters to kill. Okay, wars, not very good. Usually they block my fireballs. Okay, this one is shielded, so I have to wait for him to finish. Let's find some more monsters to kill. I don't usually like to kill the white monsters, but we still need to do a few of them, so then we can get to 100%. I'm looking for elites here. Okay. See if we can get anything more interesting. Is that a fleeting shine? Now you can see I'm using the dashing strikes, and because I'm using the dashing strike free of charge fist weapon, so as long as I have a target to dash to, I'm traveling over the certain range, then my dashing strike is free of charge. Alright, let's see if we can skip all this and rush it to find ourselves some elites. There's a goblin. Okay, so far nothing. Okay, let's get out of here. I'm gonna skip this. Here is one. Not the most interesting elite, but it will do the job. Okay, still shielded. Let's kill this. Alright, let's go back to town and quickly show you the skills and the gear combo I'm using. This is a fire build, so pretty much everything is fire damage. So before we show the gear, let me go through skills first. The Crippling Wave Rising Tide. My Templar is using the amulet that pulls heavy monsters together, so the Crippling Wave Rising Tide is good for me to generate my spirits. Not that I really need it, as you can already tell, my Lashing tail click hardly costs any spirits, and I will explain why that is. So Crippling Wave Rising Tide, just in case I need any spirits. The Dashing Strike, combined with the fist weapon I'm using, I'm able to have free Dashing Strike all the time. Throughout all the runes on the Dashing Strike, I just feel like the Quicksilver is still my preference. They are all pretty good. Like the Barrage is interesting, but also 498 weapon damage over 2 seconds is pretty low. And if you think that you can dash all the time to deal that damage, in real battle, that really isn't the case. And I don't know whether it's because of the lag I'm having. The dashing strike seems not responsive sometimes too, so you may just waste your dashing strike charge, and then you have no dashing strike available. So Dashing Strike Quicksilver is my choice. The Mystic Ally provides me more Spirit Regen, and that is one of the reasons why I'm able to cast the Lashing Tail Click quite constantly. It's also good when I run out of spirits, I can then quickly press the Ally, and that is the new skill change compared to the live server. You now have 100 spirits once you press your Mystic Ally, and then you have that. The Blinding Flash is good for burst DPS. It depends on what Torment you're doing. For example, if I go up to Torment 3, even if I go to Torment 4 or 5, for example, this skills, sometimes I'll swap it out to either Serenity for more survival, or sometimes Exploding Bomb for higher Torments. But here, since I'm only doing Torment 2, so burst DPS will be a better choice for me. The Lashing Tail Click, obviously one of my, well, actually is my main DPS output, so I chose the spinning frame kick that does 677% weapon damage as fire. The Mantra of Conviction overall, Mantra Conviction overall isn't the best mantra to use anymore actually. There's a very good mantra, Mantra of Retribution, either the first one or the last one. They are both very good, especially when you are taking damage. Each hit that you take will usually do about 2 to 3 million of damage, depending on how you gear up. But I'm playing a Torment level that is quite easy, and the burst damage is all I want, so that's why I'm using the overrule. The passive wise, I'm using momentum, and that is why sometimes I will position myself a little bit further away from the battle, and then I will dash into the battle to travel at least 30 yards to gain that 15% of damage increase for 4 seconds. One of the new passive, another good one is also this one, the Mythic Rhythm, and this one will gives you 40% more DPS output after you use your spirit generator, but this will only last for one skill usage, so I just find it pretty useless in the build I'm using. STI, if you need the defense, I think I need a defense here, so I use the STI. Also, STI is very good in Reversal. Everyone is going to be running very high dex, and all that dex is going to convert to armor, 50% of them. These tools are there to get my spirits up, so I'm using 2 passive with the Mystic Ally that also gives me constant 2 spirit regen. So that is already 2, 2, 2, 6. My Templar, I have a legendary Templar item that once you equip, it will gain access to all skills, but that isn't the point here. I just want to show that I am using also the Spirit increase one on Templar. In terms of gear, here are the interesting things about my setup. First of all, it is a fire damage I'm doing, so you can see this is my Lashing tail click. And usually you don't see this in live server. You can't really spam this in live server. It costs a lot of spirits, and if you use it for like 2 or 3 of them, then you'll be running out of spirits. But in Reaper of Soul, there are more interesting way to gear up, and this is how I gear up to do this Fire Monk. First is the weapon, the Burning Axe of Senkus, that does 20% of fire skill damage. That's the main reason why I'm using it, the 20% fire skill damage. Ice Climber, nothing special, it's just a pretty good boot, immune to freeze, nothing special, don't need to use this. The Jawbreaker is the first weapon that allows me to dash without charges. Dashing strike in this patch isn't really that great in my opinion. I hate the fact that there's only like 2 or 3 charges, and then after that you have to wait for a long time for them to recharge. So in order to still have the good feeling of dashing strike, I just use the Jawbreaker. But as I mentioned before, maybe it's a server lag. Sometimes it's not that responsive, so you will be wasting 1 or 2 charges. Even if you are definitely clicking on that target, so that's why I'm using the 3 charges here, just in case 1 or 2 of them fail. The pants, I have the Lashing tail click damage increased by 13%, and there are going to be a lot of items that's going to enable you to have this kind of effects. So it's going to increase your skill damage. So here I have one, the Lashing tail click is going to be increased by 13%. The ring, this is a level 60 ring, there's nothing special about it, it's just a very good ring, and after enchanted I put on a socket with the 280 dex, so it's just pretty good. This ring is the OSOJ, and here you can see a few interesting things. First of all, is the reduced resource cost of Lashing tail click by 5 spirits. So my Lashing tail click is now only cost 25 spirits to cast. It does also have the spirit regen, and the damage against elite isn't the key here. However, the fire skills is the effects I enchanted into. So it was doing some other elemental damage before. It was like plus some poison damage, I believe, and then I enchanted into fire skill deal 16% more, and that is going to directly increase my Lashing tail click damage. The build, again, nothing special, but this is a very good build. As you can see, like in terms of the stacks, they are pretty much maxed out. The gloves, there are a lot of choices for gloves, but the reason why I went with this one is because of the fire skill damage. The maximum fire skill damage you can get from this gloves is 30%, and this is 27% one. So fire skill damage. The bracer, again, fire skill damage capped at 20% maximum, so this one is maximum fire skill damage. Here is the Cinder Coat. The Cinder Coat is also fire skill damage increase, so here I have 18%, the maximum is 20%. However, another very good thing about the Cinder Coat is the reduced resource cost of fire skills by 30%. So my Lashing tail click is now going to cost even less when I use the Cinder Coat. The shoulders, nothing special, no skill increase here, you can't have that, at least not Lashing tail click. And so this is just nothing special. Here is my old amulet. It's a level 60 amulet which I enchanted into the fire skill damage. So here is another fire skill that's going to do 15% more. The last and interesting item is this legendary spirit stone. This legendary spirit stones increase my Lashing tail click efficiency. So it gives me additional fireball that's going to do 300% weapon damage as fire, and as you can see I already have so much fire damage everywhere, so everything just works. In total, with this setup, 15 here, 18 here, 20 here, 27 here, 16 here, and 20 here, that works out to be 116, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes, I think it's 116. So 116% more fire damage I will be doing when I use the Lashing tail click. On top of that, my Lashing tail click not only does 677% weapon damage, it does the additional 300% there. So it's actually doing 977% weapon damage and plus all the fire skills together. So that is why you can see the big tornado, that is the frame kick, the spinning frame kick, and then the small fireballs, that is this legendary spirit stones. All that work together in a way that the resource is now reduced here, and also the resource is reduced by using the SOJ. You can also get more resource reductions quite easily on other places. For example, I have resource reduction on this fist weapon. You can also have resource reduction on the ring. You don't necessarily need to use this OSOJ. You can also have another resource reduction here. You can use a resource reduction on the shoulders. You can also use the 30% resource reductions on the helm. But as I say, like this one is bugged. If I use this, I can also spam the Lashing tail click. So as you can see, my spirits is not going to go down. It's going to stay at 250 all the time. But that is only when I use the resource reduction bug helm. Some variation, so I'm going to change it back to a non-bug item, the Spirit Stone. Also, this one gives me more damage anyway. Some variation is, for example, the Maximus. The Maximus is a two-handed weapon that also gives you more fire skill damage. This one gives me 24% compared to the 20% one on the Burning Axe. So in total, if I use the Maximus, it will then gives me 120% more fire skill damage. So that's quite a lot. So I'll be using that, but first of all, I'll need to unsocket one of the gems, and I'll show you what the gameplay looks like. I also enjoy the fire. I also enjoy the Maximus because Maximus, you can take advantage of it. But I will not be using the dashing strike anymore, since there's only like 2 charges, well 3 charges if I use the Quicksilver, and there's no the free charge fist weapon anymore. So I will be using the Tempest Rush, and I will quickly change one of the passive away. I prefer to use this combo when I use the Tempest Rush setup. So let's TP back and let me show you the variation of the fire build. Okay, let's see what else we can find. Now, I'm not going to cast any Lashing tail click for now. And you can see I am killing them by the fire chain. So this is taking the advantage of the Maximus fire chain. But if I need, I can cast my Lashing tail click, and each of them are doing quite a lot of damage. So this is 2 kind of DPS output now instead of just 1. I have the Maximus, and then I have the Lashing tail click. Both of them are going to be doing quite a lot of damage. Now the blind can be taken away if you're using a 2-handed weapon, since your attack speed is not going to be that high. So I should have probably take that away and swap it to either the Firestone, which is good. There are just many things that you can do. Think of it as a utility. If you need more survival, Serenity, if you need more DPS, then you can use either the Inner Sentry or just some other skills to buff your DPS. Let's see if we can find a pack, because fighting the elite packs with the Maximus is fun. Right. Traveling through, speed, okay, let's get that. I'm going to skip all this. Let's see if we can find elite pack somewhere. And So far nothing. Okay, next level. Not the best way to demonstrate. Alright, here is one. Okay. Where's my Maximus now? Ooh, okay. That actually hurts. Let me get my life back. Okay, my Maximus is here now. So I'm gonna be using the fire chant. I'm running away from the dangers, so I'm only using the fire chant here to kill. So this is quite a good way if you are fighting a particular hard battle and you do not want to stay there. Here's some more. The thunderstorm hurts. Let's see if we can position ourselves a bit better. Ooh, healing well. Okay, I think we're ready. Just need to find the pack again. Okay, one really bad thing about Tempest Charge is I still get this rubber band a lot. It could be the server not being stable, but yeah, the rubber banding is still there. And sometimes it's quite dangerous because you think you're out, but then you get pulled back. Like here, I got pulled back all the time. And it kills me many times in Reaper's Sword because of that. So I don't know whether they have any intention of fixing that, but if you're playing hardcore, just keep in mind the rubber banding could be quite annoying. Right, I'm gonna go back to town since there's going to be another variation which I want to show as the fire build. So the Maximus is also fun. I will usually go with the dual setup. That build gives me more control, higher DPS actually, and more reliable DPS, because the thing about the Maximus is he could die quite easily and he could sometimes not appear as well. So if you need to wait for him to appear, then sometimes you just decide not to. Anyhow, let's change back to original dual setup. I'm going to get back my gem. So instead of the Lashing tail click, what other spirit spender could be used as DPS output? Well, we all know we have the Weight of Light, and I don't need to go through the Weight of Light, is a very good one. And obviously, the Lashing tail click is usually the second choice. And then people will be saying, how about 7-sided strike? 7-sided strike is not good. It works in low torment, but I'm not going to be showing you that. And I do not like the animation of the 7-sided strike, that you have to wait for it. So I will be using another pretty unique spender, the Cyclone Strike. The Cyclone Strike is usually used for support, and usually people don't use it for DPS output. But I will be using it as DPS output, so I will be using Cyclone Strike and the Sunburst, which is also fire damage. This does 454. Quite a bit lower than the Lashing tail click, and also I will not be able to proc my fireballs anymore, since I will not be doing any Lashing tail click. But by the use of this helm, I can also pretty much spam my Cyclone Strike. So let's see, I will need a different SOJ. I have not played this for a long time, and you can see I don't have the fire skill damage there. But let's reduce the Cyclone Strike by 5 spirits. So this is Cyclone Strike. Spirits is going down. It costs 50 spirits to Cyclone Strike. It only costs 30 spirits for the Lashing tail click. So if you want to spam this, you will need to have some more resource reduction. And I used to have that on the rings and the shoulders. I also used to have a different ring before, but I just don't have them anymore, so I can't really show you that. But trust me, you can have 0 spirit cost on the Cyclone Strike too. So here we go. Kind of infinite Cyclone Strike as the DPS output, and this is quite good. Because you also have the control here, so that was just a pack which I killed, and the blue packs are very easy. The champion pack that flies around, sometimes that's going to be a bit more difficult. So this serves a purpose to gather the monster and also to kill them. And you can see it's not crappy DPS, it's decent, reasonable DPS. So let me just get myself to 100% and then we will face the Rift boss and we will kill the Rift boss by Cyclone Strike. Typically a support skills you want to pull monsters. Okay. The radius is obviously not very large and that's probably the downside of this, but still you have more control than just Lashing tail kick. This is our Rift boss. Okay, what is this? A shield. Oh, this is going to take a while. I could just stand here and then press my Cyclone Strike all the time. My spirit is going down, but there are many ways to get my spirits back. There is the Mystic Airline, and there's obviously my generator, which I can also use. This fight will go quite a bit faster with the Lashing tail click, because this is only doing 454 damage. Ooh, okay, that hurts. Whereas the Lashing tail click will then do almost 1000, so almost 2 times more damage. I don't want to stay there anymore. I don't have the amulet that eliminate the poison damage, so it could hurt. Okay, it does actually hurt. Let's see. I'm gonna use that. This is one of the suggestions which I wanted to make the Blizzard as well. Those elemental elimination jewelry like rings and amulets. If you're in a situation like this, you can just take out the danger simply by swapping. I don't particularly like it, but it seems to be the most efficient way to do it. So that's why I have 4 different type in my inventory. So depending on my situations, I will quickly swap to it if I need. Anyhow, this is the demonstration of the fire build. I'm not trying to show you how OP this is, because this is not using any of the bug. Well, this helm is bugged, so that's why I tend not to play with the Cyclone Strike. This is just one of the variations. I like to play with the Lashing tail click the most, and also by using the proper Spirit Stone that is not bug. That does 300% additional damage with your Lashing tail click. So this is just a demonstration to show some suggestions, some kind of direction that you could take if you want to play a monk, if you want to stack up as much fire skill damage as possible, what kind of result will you get? It's pretty good. With this DPS 785, I'm able to do T2, T3 pretty easily, and I would say without any bug items or bug mechanic, this is probably one of the most DPS output build I could do, by also using the Exploding Palm this is going to complete and be able to farm at higher tournament. So if you liked this build, please also try it out, and perhaps you'll also discover some other variation by using similar techniques. And if you do, please share, and I look forward to some comments. Hopefully I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Bye bye.